Monday Night Raw Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes from the previous episode of Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and or PLEs. And if you want a hot take on WrestlePalooza, we will do those as well. But the actual hot take is, people in America, the United States, get a VPN. Listen to Stephanie McMahon. Get a freaking VPN. All right, so let's talk hot takes after I tell you about the contest. All you got to do to win this belt right here, replica, not a toy. All you got to do is comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, ding, 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 notification. 20,000 subscribers. We're almost there. Gonna give it away live stream, live drawing. Let's get started. We got Mobile Monty, same freaking ending every week. The main event scene is in shambles right now. I don't know if I'd say the main event scene is in shambles, but I will say it is the same freaking ending every single week. We got Nada saying, there's no way I'm the only one tired of seeing Braun and Bronson security at the end of every Raw. Yeah, every single time they start the show with, some people are angry and we're going to get a match with the Brawns later in the evening as the main event. And then the main event happens and it's a combination of the Brawns in the main event, which is cool. I like that they're being raised up, but after the night's over, what does it really accomplish? It's like, okay, they won this week. Okay, they lost this week. Do something different, shake it up, and let's look at the actual facts here, because it's one thing to say, oh yeah, every week it's the same. So let's look at it. We got September 15th. The main event was Jimmy Uso and LA Knight versus Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Then we go September 8th, LA Knight versus Bronson Reed. September 1st, Jey Uso and LA Knight versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Now let's go to August 25th, LA Knight versus Braun Breaker. Now let's go to the 18th, Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker. Now we go to the 11th, and we have CM Punk and LA Knight versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And then finally, on the 4th, we have Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. So still the Vision, but not Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. So it's literally just some combination of Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and it's not like they're doing anything crazy fancy. When Stone Cold Steve Austin used to be the main event segment every single night, they changed it up. You didn't know if it was going to be a match where Stone Cold had to win his title back, or if it was going to be a gauntlet match where he's fighting for a spot to get into Royal Rumble, or if he's going to hold a fake gun to the boss's head and the boss pee himself live on camera, or maybe this week, Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be hung on a symbol and then pulled up into the Raptors. Or maybe he's going to interrupt a dark wedding and save a damsel in distress. There was a lot of variations to when Stone Cold Steve Austin would end the segments on Raw, the main event segment on Raw. But here, it's literally Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. They're either going to get beat up and yell from the aisleway, or they're going to beat the other people up and maybe get a tsunami or two in there. If Jey Uso's not present in the match, he's going to come out. He's going to come out at some point kind of running like this, with or without a chair, and clean house. And bonus points for Jey Uso and LA Knight one-upping each other, but at the end of the day, the main event scene, it's the same thing. It's the same thing every single week. just a slight variation, and it's repetitive and it's getting dull. And I hate that, because I love it. I love everybody that's involved. I love everybody that's involved, but let's have story as opposed to just another match, playa. Hoops Debrief, though, says, I love the Braun and Braun promo. We gotta get a better name for them. They're established. They are established the Seth Rollins Vision, showing the whole group is still on the same page, and Braun Breaker sounded confident and fluid. Yeah, there was a promo, and again, I like that we're building them up. So their promo together was good. Just what followed up was like, I don't know. Money on repeat. Are the Brawns not allowed to be on screen with Seth and Becky? You almost forget they are a group. But the Bloodline would always end the show with the ones in the air. Money on repeat, you're right. Why aren't they more together? I get it. You got AJ Lee and CM Punk feuding with Seth and Becky, but like they could come together. There was I think a 5-second clip of them walking to the arena together, but we need more. We need more. Braun Breaker did mention Seth, but I want a little more cohesiveness. We could have backstage segments even. Just have backstage segments. When the Usos were in the Bloodline, Roman didn't really come out with the Usos, but there would be backstage segments with Roman and the Usos together, so it is possible. Armani Goodwin says, I miss Vince McMahon badly at this point. The predictability of this era is just killing my wrestling interest. Feels like it's on autopilot. Yeah, towards the end, I'm not gonna romanticize towards the end. His booking was atrocious at the end, but he did have some good ideas. I mean, the Bloodline started on his watch. I will say this, though. I'll repeat what Sami Zayn once said. He said, Triple H, it's more consistent, right? Triple H is way more consistent, and things make logical sense, although even that is debatable nowadays. But he said with Vince McMahon, you never knew. You could show up for work, slip on a banana peel, and win the world title. So, there was an element of unpredictability with Vince McMahon that is sorely missed. Too bad you can't combine the storytelling of Vince and Triple H. It's like they're on two opposite sides of the spectrum, which both have really good qualities, but really bad qualities at the same time. And it's like, Dax Tortello, Rhea and Becky are the most overrated wrestlers of the past decade. I don't agree with that, but I will say this. You're more than welcome to your opinion, but you got to give me an example why. That's what this channel is about. It's a conversation. I like when we actually disagree, because then we can talk. Nobody just wants an echo chamber. I mean, some YouTubers actually do want an echo chamber because they're just flabbergasted that anybody could dare disagree with them. But yeah, not me. No echo chamber, but please give me reasons. When I say I don't like this, I always give reasons why. Chanchels, I'm sorry, I butchered that name. Vaquer is going to fade away in some months because she doesn't speak fluent English. Well, I will say this. She is actually actively in English classes. One of the reasons why she went to NXT first is because she wanted to learn English. She wanted to also learn the ways of WWE wrestling. But Damian King, they need to bring out 20 El Grande Americanos in the next few weeks. Yes, let's have, make it 30. And let's have our own special Royal Rumble. I loved them pointing at each other. To be fair, though, does not necessarily mean that those two are Americana Grandes. It means these are two other luchadors inspired by Grande Americano, because, for one, how many Villanos are there? Villano 1, Villano 2, Villano 4, 5. Then also look at the LWO. Every member of the LWO isn't another Rey Mysterio. No, they are people who are inspired by Rey Mysterio. And that's what these Grande Americanos are. These other two guys that are dressed up like Grande, well, you got to think about it. Grande's been around, he was around in the 80s, 90s, maybe 70s. And, so they've looked up to him their entire lives. And so now they have a chance to be in a faction with him. That's all that's going on. DC Mills says, AJ is painful to listen to on the mic. It's serious, bad open mic comedy energy, and it comes off extremely corny. I wasn't watching during her original run, but knew her positive reputation and was excited for her return. Pretty underwhelmed, to be honest. I could see that. I personally might be looking from the perspective of a 2012 fan. I've always said that AJ Lee is one of my top 2 favorite women of all time, Bianca Belair being the other 2. I'm thinking I'm gonna throw Becky in, though, as just top tier. That said, I could see why you're a little disappointed. I don't know. It's again, it might be just bias on my part. I'm putting myself in her shoes. For AJ to have to stand next to 3 great giants of the industry must be a little intimidating, and for her to have to live up to all of this hype, it's almost impossible to live up to that kind of hype. So I'm being a little more like, let's wait and see. However, honestly, I could understand where you're coming from. That segment actually went a little too long, and I think AJ's delivery wasn't the greatest, but I do see it getting better, so I wouldn't give up just yet, but your criticism, I can see it. Kid Wilkes says, less is more when it comes to the tsunami. I'm good with Bronson Reed using the jagged edge to end matches if the tsunami is going to be used as a nuclear career ender. I'm actually happy with it too. Last week, I didn't know that they had changed it to the jagged edge. I thought the tsunami was still his finisher move. So now he has two moves, and I'm cool with that. You know why? Because I hate that it takes 3 crossroads to pin somebody. I think every wrestler should have 2 moves. That way, we can have like one like mid finisher and then one finisher, and nobody should kick out of that finisher. Anthony Blakely, I'm liking how they're building up Jey Uso to turn, telling Jimmy, just tell him no for being tag partner. Jimmy snapping back, what, you don't have the Ula Fava? Yeah, Jey Uso, way more interesting now than just, hey look, he can yeet. I love his connection with the crowd, but like, I'm really digging this really slow burn for Jey Uso. I hope they keep going with it, and we do eventually get Jey as the tribal chief, maybe, and Jimmy's saying you don't have the Ulafala, so if he does have the Ulafala, is he then allowed to talk to you how he wants? That's an interesting statement. W Potato, Bailey being Harvey Dent, 2-face, yeah, like 3-face here. 3 faces of Bailey, it looks like. I love how they did Bailey this week. A lot of people, like, they come at me, and I don't know if you fully listen to what I say sometimes. A lot of people are like, why don't you like this Bailey character? I've never ever have I said, I don't like the direction that Bailey is going. I even say, I like this direction. I don't like how they started it. I don't like that for 3 vignettes, I could literally hear inside her head, right? But everybody, like a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is the most interesting she's been. I didn't say I don't like this character. I said I don't like that I could hear inside her head. Tonight, though, when she came out and started hugging everybody, I could not hear inside Bailey's head. Therefore, I'm like, this is interesting. This is cool. And then later in the evening, when she's behind closed doors and just, you can hear all 3 voices, that's okay too. You know why? Because literally, that can happen. She could be having a conversation with herself and just being insane, but when you do a vignette and you can hear her thoughts, that's what I had a problem with. So the Bailey right this second being presented last night, I'm on board with that. I like this. I just didn't like how it started. I hope we never hear inside her head again, but unless she's actually talking, unless I see her lips moving or it's behind a door where I can't tell what exactly is happening. Does that make sense? Is that clear? I don't like telepathy in my WWE. Babs is here. Okay, this is from Rhea's perspective. This is Rhea. I'm Rhea right now. What's today's agenda? Now I'm creative. Same as last week, lurk backstage and later say you're next in line. That's what Rhea's doing. Like, I'm glad that we've pulled back on the overbooking, the OP Rhea Ripley, but I think we might have pulled back too far, and now she's just like, what is she doing? She just like walks around telling people, yeah, I'm gonna be champion sooner or later. His Mickey says, laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji. So Brock could have shown up to Raw tonight since he was looking for Cena so bad. Yeah, totally right. So not only do they advertise this is John Cena's last ever SmackDown, and Brock Lesnar actually appears at that SmackDown to F5 him, interrupting the Sami Zayn match. Then they advertise that John Cena is going to be at Raw. So what? Brock Lesnar shows up on SmackDown to be like, where's John Cena? Like, dude, the dude went and bought a ticket, an airplane ticket to get to SmackDown, but he couldn't call and ask, hey, is John Cena going to be there tonight? He couldn't Google John Cena's appearances. Knowing that John Cena has less than 7 left, he couldn't just Google that? No, it's easier for him to buy a plane ticket, sit on the plane, fly from Canada. Come on. He was advertised. They could have had him come here. And now, not only that, but he's going to go on SmackDown on Friday. Why are you going to SmackDown on Friday now? It's like ridiculous. Mickey also says, I wonder who Jey was on the phone with. Maybe it was Roman, but isn't he supposed to be clinging to life in the hospital? Yeah, who knows? Now, I will say that it will be kind of cool if it is Roman, because then you can have Roman's presence without Roman having to be like, I don't know, clinging to life in the hospital, but every time he decides to leave. He can just be like, you know what? Not worth my time. I'm leaving. Jey, you handle it, because OTC 1 implies there's an OTC 2. Roman can just bump up to be the tribal elder, like his dad and his uncle, and then Jey Uso could be the tribal chief. Everybody keeps the same power dynamic while still leveling up. Rainy Day Studio says Seth and Becky ate up the Punks. No contest on the mic. Yeah, no contest. Although AJ did get a couple good lines in when she said, thanks for reading my book. I didn't read yours, because that book is such a part of Becky's character that's like, that had to hurt, that had to sting. And then what else did she say? She said something else that was really, really good. And the Shank line was like a little kind of corny, but like for the most part, like she had some really decent, solid burns. But Seth, on the other hand, when he basically said that CM Punk will divorce her if she loses, that was so funny. Jimmy Uso is cool, but he needs a new song loops too fast, and you can't hear anything but hi-hats. I don't know what a hi-hat is, so I'm just going to have to shake my head and be like, yeah, totally, those hi-hats, gross. Then is Stephanie winning tonight a sign of losing to Io next? Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't think a lot of people want to hear this, but Crown Jewel is in Australia. Who's lurking around backstage saying, I'm going to be champion? Whoever wins this championship is going to lose to Rhea Ripley in about 3 to 4 weeks. So, honestly, for Stephanie's first title reign, I hope it's not a 3 to 4 week title reign. I'd rather her lose here with Asuka's shenanigans, and then if the plan is to put the belt on Rhea, then I guess Io's the perfect one to lose, for her to lose to. I know I don't want that to happen. I'm just saying, like, the less damage of a transitional champion would be for Rhea to beat Io on it. Bishop Marley. Stephanie Vaquer is the right woman to put the title on. I know it seems like too much too fast, but she is a fresh face. I'm done with that too much too fast. Too much too fast. I mean, sometimes that legitimately can happen, but sink or swim. I am tired of having to wait until you're 40 years old before you can enter the main event scene. No shade to all the 40-year-olds. They're great. You guys are on another level. But I want to see some Braun Breakers, some Stephanie Vaquers, some Austin Theories, get some shots in that main event. Wouldn't it be crazy if maybe a Trick Williams or an Obafemi, when they come to the roster, they don't have to lose for 3 years, and for everybody to say, they're young, don't worry about it. No, I'd rather them just get into that main event scene almost right away. Sky, Wonder Wolf, are we going to find out who Jey was on the phone with, or is it going to be a forgotten story like Triple H likes to do nowadays? Already said I hope it's Roman Reigns, but yeah, I could probably forgotten. Miles players, Punk and Lee should have been the ones on top this week because of her return. Okay, so you think that AJ Lee should just be continuously winning right now? I think the reason why is because the pay-per-view is this week. PLE, whatever you want to call it. It's this week. Therefore, usually the baby faces are going to get beat up the week before the PLE. That way we pay more money to see the good guys beat the heels. That's why they got beat up this week. Carmen Montez just says, John Cena. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. John Cena, I agree. Like, I need more sometimes, boys and girls. Carmichael says, good on Xavier Woods for finally serving some justice against the tyrant Penta. Emotional damage, destruction of property, and failure to pay back what's owed will drive a grieving person to madness. That's what happens, Penta. That's what happens. Yup. The Real Bunny Davis. AJ is old and cringe. I think AJ Styles is fine. And I think AJ Lee is fine too. Let's wait to judge after WrestlePalooza and maybe a couple more times on the microphone, but also AJ Lee is actually younger, I believe, than Becky Lynch. It's not an old thing, it's just she's been gone for a while. Give her a little time to acclimate to this new landscape of WWE. It's a whole new world than AJ is used to. Doshi 066, I was waiting for Becky or Seth to say they are a better couple because at least they have a child together, something that Punk and AJ don't have. That would have been a holy crap moment. You are right. That would be a holy crap moment. Oh my gosh. They should, hopefully they hear this and they can keep that in their back pocket. Wow, that would be such a low blow. Main event Fro. No heel turn for Jey Uso, just more aggressive attitude. I'd be okay with that. I'm so sick of the I respect you. No, I respect you. I respect you. I respect you, but I'm going to win your belt. Nah. He can still be a face and hate other faces, just like LA Knight. I'm all for more aggressive or a heel turn. Go Buggy, I really love Crazy Bailey's new character. I love it's a mix of her old character like Hug Life, Bailey, and Ding Dong Hello Bailey, and I just love how Lyra is scared of Bailey. Yeah, I'm liking it too. Definitely enjoying this version of Bailey. Nicholas Getling says, yes, Bailey, bring back the wacky inflatable guys. Yes, bring these guys back. That was the best part of Hugger Bailey, to tell you the truth, plus the ponytail on the side. TTJC says, I am predicting that Dom and Rusev will face off, and Sheamus interferes. The hater in him is too strong and can't let Rusev win, and Dom will steal the pinfall. Ooh, that would be a good way. I cannot see Rusev losing to Dominik, but in a triple threat, maybe, and then we get match 3 of their fight. That wouldn't be bad, but I do kind of want Rusev to move on. I'm actually more interested in Rusev right now than I have been in this entire comeback tour, and for some reason I never got into the Sheamus Rusev feud, but I'm just I am salivating at the prospect of him and Dom. So up 111 says, the Cena promo was awesome, but I wish Brock was there and we got back and forth because we didn't get that during this feud. Excited for the match either way. Yeah, what is the harm in having these guys back and forth each other? Mayo says, the Vision is the best thing WWE has besides Cena's farewell tour. I'm trying to think of a better storyline right now. Now that Naomi's gone, maybe, because Becky would have been one of the greatest things, but now she's part of the Vision. I like Drew McIntyre, but this feud has been lackluster because Cody wasn't present. So I might be inclined to agree with you. Although I do like the Jey Uso LA Knight dynamic right now. But Wrestle Train does not. LA Knight and Jey Uso gain nothing from their manufactured beef. If you really think about it, it benefits no one. This is a filler program for Knight. I actually do think it benefits because LA Knight is a guy who can actually have beef with other heels or other faces, and Jey Uso's not used to that. They can elevate each other. Sometimes you just need two guys to just take a second away from the main event scene and just work and elevate each other. I'm not saying it's to that level, but CM Punk and Drew McIntyre did that last year, and maybe Jey Uso and LA Knight can do that for each other. Renee Bullock says, Becky might get shanked. AJ's mad now. And Joe, the broadcaster, telling AJ Styles where the El Grande Americano is hilarious. Bailey hugging everybody was crazy and yelling at herself for doing it was awesome. These are my hot takes from Raw. Okay, those are your hot takes from Raw. NXT is where it's at, says programmed for damage. Raw and SmackDown have been rinse and repeat. really looking forward to NXT Homecoming tomorrow. Ooh, if I have time, I'll live stream it, but I don't know. I doubt I will. But yeah, NXT is very consistently good. Mr. Gray says, lately I've been enjoying SmackDown more than Raw, but tonight's Raw had the urgency, which worked for me. The storyline progressed, and it was fun, but the ending, it just sucks, man. I wasn't interested in the main event at all. Well, you know, if you've seen that main event or a variation of it for 6 weeks in a row, that's an understandable not being that interested. WTF Patch says, this is 6 weeks in a row we've been stuck in missionary position for the main event. Same promo, same outfits, almost same people. God, stop. Yeah, you know what? So I'm not the only one who noticed, because we already talked about it earlier on. Jimbo Slice says, I love the Vision story has intersecting paths, the Brawns and the Usos, Knight and Jey, Punk and Knight. Punk/AJ versus Becky and Seth. Seth versus Roman. Jey trying to be like Roman. Last time they did this, it was what made the Bloodline saga so magical. Can lightning strike twice? I don't know. We'll see. We will see. There's just something missing. There's just something missing. It might be the backstage segments. I say this all the time, but I honestly believe if it was not for the backstage segments, maybe even Sami Zayn, the Bloodline wouldn't have got as over as they did. Maybe Becky Lynch can be their Sami Zayn. I don't know. Now, she won't be that cowardly, but, you know, heel Becky is kind of a coward in a certain kind of way. She's also the greatest wrestler of all time, and that's not just me saying it. That's Sports Illustrated. So, like, maybe Becky is the missing component. We'll see. She just joined, and I know she's already kind of paying dividends with the Seth Rollins character. Last night, for the first time, Seth didn't really come out to his music, and that added a lot of heat to him. I don't understand how Seth Rollins, a student of the game that he is, continuously allows the crowd to just cheer for him, chant with him. But Becky doesn't allow that. Becky is such a good heel. She does not allow stuff like that. So I'm hoping Becky can be that missing component, that it factor that the Vision has been missing. And then we have Homer Chevy. Rusev has been the most exciting mid-carder in the men's division. I know a lot of people weren't happy with his slow start, but I love that they didn't rush anything with him. Love his current position, and glad they put him over at Clash. He now up against Dom really feels deserved. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm okay with admitting when I am wrong, and right now, I was very much on the what are we doing with Rusev bandwagon, but now tonight, when he just stepped up against Dom, just walked into frame, I was like, whoa, whoa, uh-oh, you know, I was very much on board saying, wow, this is a matchup I did not know that I wanted to see. So maybe that slow build was all worth it. Maybe I was wrong. I think they could have done some things to make it even better, but at the end of the day, here we are, and I am excited for a Rusev Dominik Mysterio match. So, kudos right now for Rusev. Let's keep that momentum going. I can't find the comment for some reason, but I read it earlier, because I actually filmed this earlier, but all the footage got deleted. That's why it's coming up so late. Plus, I had to work. Actually, I filmed it. The footage was corrupt. I went to work. Now I'm back. I'm editing, blah, 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 filming. So, but someone said this earlier, and I forget who, so I apologize, but they said that we wasted a John Cena appearance. Why couldn't we get a matchup with Dominik Mysterio, and then maybe Rusev could interfere? Now, I wouldn't want a Rusev interference, but why couldn't we get a Dominik Mysterio matchup tonight? Why? It's like, John Cena's here. You know, did he have to speak for 20 minutes? No. Or just don't even have him speak at all. Wouldn't it have been just cool if John Cena had walked out and said, I've got 5 matches left. I've never won the Intercontinental title. Dominik, I'm calling you out. You want some? Come get some. And we just had a match. God, that would have been so cool. I wouldn't even care if Dom somehow won. Finn Balor could have helped cheat. I don't care. Or even better, John Cena wins the Intercontinental title. Then he becomes a Grand Slam. I don't care. We wasted it. We could have had a match. But nope. All right. Well, those are your hot takes. Sorry that it came out so late. I appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget WrestlePalooza, and don't forget a VPN. Boys, girls, I'll see ya tomorrow for predictions of the Palooza of wrestling. Bye.